77 WABC invites you to a family fun day and softball showdown on July 20th with net proceeds benefiting Shriners Children's. John Sterling will call the game as the FDNY takes on the NYPD with special guests Dwight Gooden, Art Shamsky, 77 WABC hosts including Sid Rosenberg, Anthony Cumia, Lionel, Dominic Carter, and many more. For more info and to buy tickets, go to ShrinersChildren'sChampions.org. That's ShrinersChildren'sChampions.org.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Excuse me, taxi.
Okay, man, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
My good buddy Chris from Lindenhurst. Chris, what's up, man?
Yo, man, I love how every Sunday night I tune in praying for some kind of good news, some kind of uplifting story. But, I was going to talk about the United Nations, but why bother with that? You brought up Kathy Hochul in this godforsaken state that I'm stuck in, living in. The reason I can't leave this state, and I'm sure that there are other people who are kind of in the same boat. I have family here. It's all I've ever known. I have kids here, but the biggest thing is my job is here, and I've been looking for a job other places, Pennsylvania, the Carolinas, for 3 years at least. Haven't been able to find anything. And the money I make here on the island, I live on Long Island, is good, but the problem is that my kids, and a lot of kids their age, cannot afford to start a life here on Long Island or anywhere in New York.
Of course not. So I think it would be better, because a lot of people, I know, Chris, a lot of people say, well, my kids. And I think that's just another way to not have to make that commitment to leaving. But you're doing them a favor. My sister, before I even moved down here, my sister moved just outside of Myrtle because she was disgusted with the way her son was being treated in school during COVID. And then she's like, moving down to South Carolina, I'm going to look into it. She looked and said, the schools are open down there? Like, they're actually going to school, looking each other in the full face, not half a face with a mask on it, and said, of course, this is better for my kid. I don't know many people that can look at New York now and think, well, it's still better for my kids than leaving.
No.
I don't see it, Chris.
No, it's not. And like you mentioned before, if Zeldin got in, he wasn't going to change much in this state. The fact is that the real estate market in this state is completely out of control for anybody. Yeah. The average home prices are, $600,000-$700,000.
And for what? So you can live amongst MS-13 and
yes.
the Latin Kings, and there's not one area of Long Island, New York anymore, honestly, that doesn't have an area. Like you go, oh yeah, no, this is great, Dix Hills. I live in Dix Hills. It's wonderful. And then you go, yeah, but don't go to Wyandanch, which is right over there across the tracks or something.
Right.
Like there's always a place. There's not one area that's just, oh, this is awesome. It's a great place, and you could run for miles and never see a bad place. So what's the attraction anymore to staying?
It's not. 30 years ago, when my parents moved from living in Queens, moved to Long Island was suburbia.
Yeah.
They tell me all the time, we got the house. It was, $100,000, and everything was all new, and it was all nice and quiet. And
the Robert Moses Parkways kept them out of the beaches. I know, Chris.
But, my kids are never going to be able to start a life here on their own. They can't afford it, and I know a lot of people who are in the same situation as me. Their kids are the same way. They're going to be living at home until they're 50 years old.
Yeah.
Because you just can't do it. That's why I have to get out of this state.
You got
They have forced me to leave. And, again, it's all I've ever known. Everything you kind of want is here. You got the beaches, you got the winter, you got the city, you got the sports teams, fine. But I've had to throw all that away now and really put my family in front and say, this is what's going to be best for my family going forward. I have to.
Chris, there's a that great old saying, no matter where you go, there you are. It's always, you're still you. It's still your family. There are wonderful things. New York isn't this amazing place that has things that nowhere else has. And, it would be better. And every single person I know that's left New York says, why the hell did I wait this long to do this?
Yeah.
All right, Chris. I got to move on, Chris. But
all right, remember the new expression of the night: "Mega, please."
Oh, Mig, the M.
Yes, the M.
I was getting scared there a second. All right, Chris. There goes Chris. It was an M, I swear. The Make Iran Great Again, that South Carolina's own Lindsey Graham loves the saying. Ugh, it's so annoying. So I saw a couple of stories that looked like it could have been some Iranian sleeper cells, because now that's what we're hearing, which I think is ridiculous. I think there are people that want to do harm to Americans, and perhaps there are state-sponsored terrorists in this country. Who would know? Joe Biden let so many people in over the border unvetted that could absolutely have happened. But the idea that there's Iranians sitting around just with a phone next to them waiting, going, well, it is time now, you go do this, is kind of silly to me. A sleeper cell? So what, are they working? They're on the SNAP welfare program? Do they have friends? If you're a sleeper cell, the idea of a sleeper cell, because you hear that in movies, because realistically, aside from 9/11, and I've heard so many people say, well, that's even debatable, a sleeper cell is someone that just fits in. They live their life as a person in whatever country they're in. And then when the time comes, they jump to action. So I don't know, but I don't think it's real. They just sit around, He's got neighbors. He goes over to cookouts and hangs out at a local pub. And then when the word comes in, he just turns all that off and goes on a shooting spree. But we're being told that sleeper cells could perhaps, come our way. So I hope that doesn't happen. But what I want to say about that is you got to take care of yourselves. You got to take care of yourselves. We saw today, I think it was, a church down in Wayne, Michigan, or up in Wayne, Michigan. I guess it depends on where you are, Anthony. Person drove a pickup truck, through the front of the building, the church, and opened fire on the parishioners there. Thank God. There was a security guard there that was armed and dispatched the villain, made quick work of him, and killed him. One person was injured. I believe it was a shot in the leg. You're to blame. But the good part is no one was killed in the church. The bad guy was killed because there was a person there that was armed whose responsibility it was to look out for the people in that establishment. That works. That protection works. Taking people's ability to defend themselves away doesn't work. Having no gun zones doesn't work. Bad guys will go into no gun zones, knowing that they could probably do whatever they want without somebody shooting back at them. So when we're looking at a situation like this, where the United States again has struck at a foreign nation that is known for terrorist events and their sponsorship of terrorism, we have to take care of ourselves.
77 WABC invites you to a family fun day and softball showdown on July 20th with net proceeds benefiting Shriners Children's. John Sterling will call the game as the FDNY takes on the NYPD with special guests Dwight Gooden, Art Shamsky, 77 WABC hosts, including Sid Rosenberg, Anthony Cumia, Lionel, Dominic Carter, and many more. For more info and to buy tickets, go to ShrinersChildren'sChampions.org. That's ShrinersChildren'sChampions.org.